With the never-ending snowstorms during the Swedish spring of 2023, I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about the winter giantess that belongs to the family of the Norse gods. Her name is Skadi or Skade. She is the daughter of the cunning giant Chasse, which once manages to fool Odin, Loki and Hönir. Chasse compels Loki to help him kidnap the goddess Idun and her magical golden apples. The disappearance of the golden apples makes all of the gods and goddesses turn into old and frail. During these events, Chasse has to end his days. And Skadi is said to hold a violent grudge towards Loki and blames him for the death of her father. Skadi has been described as serious, beautiful, silent, and somewhat of a harsh woman. Just as harsh as the winter storms she brings upon the lives of the 9 realms. She is seen as the goddess that represents winter, skiing, and hunting. It is debated if her name comes from the old Germanic word for shadow, which would be skodus, or if Skadi's name comes from the meaning the one that injures, since skada means injury in Scandinavian languages. We don't know where it came from. It has also been discussed if Scandinavia is actually named after Skadi. Since Skadi isn't the forgiving type, she armored up after the death of her father and marched into Asgard, demanding vengeance. Since the god Odin is very good with his words, he managed to calm the angry giantess down a bit, and he offered her a better solution than more bloodshed. She got to pick any husband out of the gods, and on top of that, Odin also promised her that she would have a good laugh. Now when you have heard the description of Skadi's character, you might understand that making her laugh is not an easy task. Since Odin is also sometimes a selfish god, he did not want to offer up his beautiful son away to Skadi. Balder was the most beautiful of the gods. It wouldn't be a strange thing for Skadi to, out of the bunch, choose him. So, the rules Odin set for Skadi to pick a husband was very simple. She could only pick a husband based on which feet of the gods she liked the most. This meant that she could only see the feet of the different male gods of Asgard, and she picked the one that had the most beautiful feet. Believe it or not, these feet were not Balder's. It was the clean and well-scrubbed feet of the Vanir Njord, the god of wind, water and fire. Since Njord loved being by the seaside, his feet were always clean and well scrubbed by the salts and sands of the bottom beneath the water surface. After Skadi had picked her husband, Odin was feeling a little less selfish, and he put her father's eyes as stars upon the sky. And since it was Loki that had a big part of her father's passing, in order to make her laugh, well, he tied his balls to a rope, and then the other end of the rope to a goat, that then started running around. And not even the harsh Skadi could hold her laughter in at a sight like that. Some say that opposites attract, and maybe that was true for Skadi and Njord, at least for a while. In the Gylfaginning, written during the 1200s, it says, Leith erumk fjöll, varka eik lengia, neiter einar niu, ylfa þutr, mer þótti illurvera, ja söngvisvana, þakvad skadi þetta. Sofa eik ne matak, sevar bethjum a, fogels jarmi fyrir, samik vekr, eraf viði kemr, morgin vjerjan mar. And this I have translated to, I got tired of the mountains, even though I wasn't there anymore. Only for 9 nights the cries of wolves to me seemed of evil, compared to the songs of swans. Then Skadi sang. Sleep I could not, at the seaside, because of the noises from the birds. The gull, that from the sea comes, wakes me up every morning. This is not a word-for-word translation, but I have preserved the biggest parts of the original text and the meaning of the text. Also keep in mind that I am not Icelandic, and my pronunciation is absolutely flawed. It is quite certain, however, that Skadi and Njord did not value the same things in life. Skadi eventually leaves to live in her father's old fortification, Trimheim, in the mountains of Jotunheim. Njord, who is the father of Frey and Freya, and Skadi never had any children together. But apparently Skadi became one of Odin's concubines and birthed him many sons. Skadi also eventually got her revenge on Loki. She was the one that placed a poisonous serpent above his face that kept dripping its poison onto him. When Loki finally got tied down in a cave as a punishment before Ragnarök. When Ragnarök finally hits, it is also a mystery what happens to Skadi. She isn't mentioned during or after Ragnarök, which could mean that it went either way, very good or very bad. But that, my dear friends, that might be a story for another video. Thanks for listening.